Don't be tripping, it's just flipping. You guys, I'm a full-time reseller. These are our orders for Tuesday, so this is Wednesday. We're gonna go ahead and ship these out. There's 8 on eBay, 2 on Poshmark, and 1 on Mercari. Let's get shipping. Present Natalie here. You guys, you're gonna see me package up some Poshmark orders, and you're gonna have to disregard the information because it's no longer gonna be valid as of September 12th, 2025. Poshmark just announced that they are gonna be offering their buyers cheaper shipping. It was $8.27 for priority mail shipping. Now it's gonna be $6.49 through USPS Ground Advantage. We ship Ground Advantage on eBay, so it's not going to be nothing new to us, but with that change comes a few changes when it comes to packaging on Poshmark. You're no longer going to be able to use the free USPS priority mail shipping materials just because you're not going to be shipping priority mail anymore. It's going to be Ground Advantage, so you're going to have to use your own boxes and your own poly mailers. They do have this number you can call that claims that they have free USPS ground shipping materials that you can use or order from this number, but from what I've heard, nobody's really gotten through. If you have, let me know in the comments. Now, some people may be freaking out about this because they're used to using the free shipping materials, but you guys, if you sell on other platforms, it's not going to be a real issue for you because you're already going to have these other shipping materials on hand. So don't freak out too much. When it comes to reselling, things are always changing. You have to learn to adapt. This change takes effect on September 12th, and if you do continue to use the USPS priority shipping material, they're going to tack on a $5 charge to every package that you ship out. Poshmark claims that they are going to have a 30-day grace period where they're not going to tack on those extra fees if you do use the USPS priority packaging, but I'm not going to risk it. We already ship through eBay, Depop, and Mercari using our own packaging, so we're going to continue to do so. So we'll just take that shipping materials and put it towards Poshmark. Utilize getting those free boxes, and poly mailers are usually pretty cheap or pretty affordable whenever you buy in bulk. Poshmark is geared towards clothing sales in my opinion, but hard goods do sell. You do ship primarily clothing. Invest in bulk buying some poly mailers, you guys. You won't regret it. The 5-pound rule will also still apply, so remember, list items under 5 pounds unless you want to be paying the overage and shipping. Alrighty guys, that's it. I wanted to make sure that you were up to date on Poshmark's policy. I will definitely keep you updated if any of the other platforms change their shipping policies. But don't get discouraged. You have to change with the times, and it's not unheard of for selling platforms to change up the shipping. It's really not that bad in my opinion, but enjoy the rest of this Ship With Me video. Just disregard the shipping advice that I give whenever I'm packaging up the Poshmark orders because as of September 12th, it's no longer going to apply. I always ship out Poshmark first just because it's the easier platform. I have the free shipping materials that you're allowed to use, which is USPS priority packaging. So I just like doing that first, just getting it out of the way. How cute. We'll get to that little guy in a minute. We had 2 that sold on Poshmark. This Polo Ralph Lauren boys sweatshirt. If you watched the video I just posted, you guys, you're gonna see that this is part of the ones that we picked up at a yard sale. I paid $1 to $1.50 for this one, and it sold in 24 days on Poshmark for $22. Not too bad. Whenever I went to mark all these when I photographed them, I just put what number I did it in. So on my ready to list template, it helps you stay organized. So I just put this was number 12. So whenever it sold, I knew exactly which one it was, since we picked up like 15 kids Ralph Lauren's that day. Also sold these super adorable kids Carhartt sweatpants. These are toddler sized. Paid $2 at a yard sale, and they sold for 15 bucks on Poshmark in 80 days. These are super simple to ship. You're going to use these. You can use the ones that aren't padded, but I prefer to use ones that are padded. Just my preference. You can choose the ones that aren't. It's up to you. But they go in there, and then they just have the self-adhesive strip, and that's it. I do add a piece of eBay tape over it because I don't 100% trust that this isn't going to open up during shipping. Definitely a possibility. So I just do a little strip over it, and do I care that it says eBay? I do not, and neither do all of my buyers. I've never had an issue using the eBay tape for other platforms. What you're going to do is make sure you mark what's in the package so you don't mix your packages up. So I just put Carhartt. Next up, we're going to do the Ralph Lauren. I like folding it in half to kind of squeeze that air out just because it's a thicker sweater, and it does help go in there a little bit easier. And just do a little shimmy and shake. And there you go. So if this was too thick to fit in this envelope, I would just go ahead and use one of my poly mailers that I've got. Just because I don't really like the look of stuffing things in the packages. Little piece of tape. Kind of go over that, and then PRL, which stands for Polo Ralph Lauren. When shipping on Poshmark, you can use their free packaging up to 5 pounds. After 5 pounds, you're going to have to pay the overage and shipping. It usually starts at $4 and up for an updated shipping label. That's why I only list items 5 pounds and under on Poshmark, just because I don't want to be paying any extra in shipping unless it's worth it. But you can go to USPS.com/shipping supplies and get some shipping supplies. You can also just walk into a USPS store and grab some of their boxes. Whatever works best for you. Keep in mind whenever you are accepting bundle deals on Poshmark, if it goes over 5 pounds, you're going to have to get an updated shipping label. So keep that in mind when people are buying multiple things from you on Poshmark. You want to keep it under 5 pounds if you don't want to be paying extra in shipping. Next up, I'm going to do Mercari just because I have it right here. This little Minnie Mouse dress. This Minnie Mouse dress, it sold for $19.50. I paid $3 for it, but it did take forever to sell. It's an adult size mini dress, but it does have flaws, so that's exactly why it took a while to sell. And by a while, I'm talking like over probably a year. So I was happy to get rid of it for $19.50. If you've watched my shipping videos, you know that I cut these poly mailers in half and tape them up. I don't ship most things in a full poly mailer. This is what they look like. They are 24 by 24 inches, and I use these for a lot of things. Sometimes I'll cut them in halves and thirds, depending on how big the item is. And then I just tape it up. I use my scissors as a prop. Could you get different size poly bags to do this? Sure, you could. But it's also going to cost you a little bit more. And honestly, it doesn't take me much more time than it would if I had different size poly bags. Just got to make sure you got the right cut. And same thing, I just fold it over and tape it down. And I do like to add a second strip of tape right here just so it secures everything in place. All right, guys, we're going to write mini. And there we go. So on Mercari, whenever you are shipping things out, you don't have to worry so much about measurements, but Mercari bases their shipping on weight. So make sure you have your weights correct, because if not, it's going to cost you in shipping. That's all the other platforms. Now we're going to do eBay. These Crocs I picked up for $8, and that's usually a little bit more than I like paying for shoes, but I knew this style of Crocs sells. I've sold it a couple times before. These sold for $41.97 after 116 days on eBay. Not too shabby. We get a majority of our boxes from Dollar Tree's cardboard dumpster. So you guys, there's only cardboard in this dumpster. You can tell the $1.25. It does have a couple other stickers on it. I don't really care about taking those off, but I do take the one that says $1.25 off. And there you go. And we're gonna use this up. We love their boxes because they got a majority of different sizes and the perfect ones for shoes. So if you're by a Dollar Tree, stop by their dumpster in the back. See if you can grab some free boxes. You can also go inside if you don't like digging in a dumpster. But usually they're right on top. You don't have to do much digging. This box did have a little slit at the bottom, so I'm just going to put another piece of tape to secure it. It's a perfect shoe box. We get our brown paper from Home Depot. It comes in a large row. This is actually red rosin paper, just a little bit thicker, and I believe it's like 14 bucks. But I'm just going to place the shoes. I usually do the opposite direction so they fit in there really nice. Place a little paper, just a little bit more, and then we're going to tape it up. Just like that, you guys. And then one little piece across the top. And we're going to write Crocs. I didn't sell any other Crocs, so I know that's that pair. All right. Next up, this is a Haynes Textbook, Automotive and Air Conditioning. Some of these manuals do sit for a while. We paid $1 for this, and it sold in less than 24 hours on eBay for 10 bucks. We'll take that. Even though it only sold for 10 bucks, it is a media or paper, so it does get polybagged. I don't want the rain to get to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place it in a poly bag. These are the main poly bags that I use for clothing. They are 12 by 16 or 12 by 15. But yeah, they work great. And they do have the label on there. It's suffocation warning label. We used to sell on Amazon, so I just like I just like that they have these. And then we're actually gonna poly bag this. We're not gonna put it in a box. I'm just gonna lay a piece of cardboard behind it. It's just a scrap piece that we had. And we're gonna ship it that way. So I'm just gonna cut, and I'm actually gonna give myself a little bit extra room. And then this piece I will use to ship one of the other pieces of clothing. But yeah, just cut it in half. And then I'm gonna take this, lay it on there, and just slide it into the package. Just like that, you guys, pretty simple. So if this were to bend, it's gonna be the cardboard that bends, not the actual book. Even though it's not in the best condition to start with, we still want them to receive it in the condition that it was photographed in. Add some tape. Let me know in the comments, guys, how do you ship clothing? Do you get different size poly bags, or do you cut yours in half like I do? All right, I'm just gonna put manual, just like that. Take that other piece, I'm gonna ship out this other Polo Ralph Lauren that we picked up. Funny, it was listed for the same amount of days as the other one, which kind of makes sense since I listed them all on the same day. Paid $1 and it sold in 24 days on eBay for 21 bucks. These are kid size Ralph Laurens, which sell pretty decent for me, just depending on the pattern. They're not always the quickest mover, so. All right. I hate when the tape does that. Yeah. I really need one of the tape dispensers that sits on a desk. I think I'm gonna look for one of those today. But yeah, same thing. The longer you do it, the quicker you get at it. I've been doing it this way for, my goodness, over almost 2 years now. And I'm just gonna put Polo Ralph Lauren and set it in a different pile than I did the other one. That one's in a priority mailer, so I know that's the one that sold on Poshmark. That one sold on eBay, so it goes in the eBay pile. Got a few other clothing. You guys know how I ship clothing. I do the same for quilts and blankets, things like that, coats. I paid $5 for this Pioneer Woman floral quilt. It sold after 45 days being listed on eBay for $87.47. It is a king size, so they got a really good deal. All right. I'm gonna see if it's gonna fit inside this 24 by 18 clear poly mailer. I doubt it's going to. It may just get double poly bagged. Yeah, see how it doesn't fit? So in that instance, I'm gonna use my poly mailers. This is the one that I stored it in because we store some of our larger items in our attic. So this is the one that I put it in for it to be stored until it's sold. So I'm just gonna throw it back in this one, and I'm gonna double poly bag it. Just like that. Pioneer Woman can either be hit or miss depending on what the item is. Okay, gonna take my other poly mailer and I'm just gonna double bag it. If the package were to get wet, it's not gonna ruin the quilt. Just like that. I like the look of the clear ones better on the inside, but that's all right. We work with what we got. And then I do like to add a little piece of eBay tape over it, just so it stays nice and secured. And I don't like all this extra fabric. I don't like all the extra paper or plastic. So I just do that. And we're gonna flip it and do this side. I don't know, it drives me crazy. It just doesn't look professional. But yeah, just like that. We're gonna write quilt. I wrote quit. I quit. Just kidding. definitely don't quit. I love this job. There we go. I paid 50 cents for this adorable little Westland dog. That's the brand, Westland. Keep an eye out because these are a sought after brand. Paid 50 cents for it and it sold after 101 days on eBay for 74 bucks. But how cute. The only thing that was wrong with it, it was slightly flawed on the nose. So a little bit of paint chip. Not bad. But this guy didn't come with a box. I'm just gonna go ahead and bubble wrap. And I'm using a lot because I don't have the box that it came in, and it's going to help cushion him. He's pretty fragile. I don't want anything else breaking off. And then I'm just going to tape it down. Just like that. I don't make it too tight because I just don't want to put too much pressure on the little dog itself in there. I'm just going to take a piece of scrap board or scrap cardboard, and we're going to roll them up in it. Roll your boat. We keep scrap cardboard laying around just for these reasons. Almost dropped him. He almost took a tumble. But what I do is take a piece of scissors, score it just so it's easier to fold. And then I'm just going to tape it together. This is going to help protect it during shipping. It's essentially double boxing or a box within a box. That's what I'm doing. Just like that. I do this type of packaging for most breakables, mugs, all kinds of breakable stuff. And then just fold this in and tape it down. One more cut. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to look semi-presentable. You don't want it looking too crazy. I'd say the more the buyer's going to be happier that it arrives in one piece opposed to how crazy the shipping material looks. Like as long as they got it and it's not broken. This is another Dollar Tree box. Let my clock go off, and as you can tell with some of them, they are flawed because the employees do just cut them open and put the merchandise out. So you kind of have to work with that sometimes. And I just put another piece of tape over. We get our eBay tape using our quarterly coupon, which it's about time for that. We usually do get the eBay tape, even though the quality has gone down a little bit. I do still like using it. All right, let's put some brown paper. But this is one of the Dollar Tree boxes. I'm just gonna take my dog and put him on in there. Some scrap paper. I'm going to make sure this one has plenty of brown paper. I do reuse shipping materials that I get from Amazon, and my mom does save me a few and brings them by. So that's a plus too. You can ask family and friends if they have any shipping supplies that they can kind of save for you. And then tape it up. We'll do one across the top. And it doesn't matter that this says poise or anything like that. The only thing you want to watch out for whenever you're reusing boxes is if it says hazard or gas, flammable, anything like that, you want to make sure you cover it up with tape or try to take it off. You don't want to ship things using that. And I'm just going to put dog. There we go. Alright guys, I'm just going to go over what actually sold instead of packaging it up, just because you've seen how I package clothing. I'll be cutting the poly mailers in half and taping them up. This little boho patchwork overall, I paid $2 for them from a yard sale, and they sold after 29 days on eBay for 24 bucks. There's no brand on those. I picked those up based only on style. So keep that in mind. Probably from one of the offshore websites. You guys, I picked them up based on style, and they sold in a decent amount of time. 29 days is a pretty good time frame, especially for clothing. Abercrombie & Fitch sold on eBay. These are just Y2K style capris. Again, a style-based pickup. Abercrombie & Fitch does help when it comes to brand. Paid $5 and they sold in 146 days on eBay for $27.97. This next set we picked up at a yard sale. I listed these and they sent me a message on eBay saying they wanted to bundle all 3 of them together. They were listed less than 24 hours, you guys, on eBay. Didn't even have a chance to cross-post them using Nifty, which is my automation/cross-listing tool. If you're not using one and you want to start selling on other platforms, it's definitely a great choice. You could try it free and then use my coupon to save 15% off your first month. You're gonna love it. You definitely will not regret it. This brand I shared with my subscribers. Come back in a couple weeks and I'll list the brand in the comments, just because I usually give them a head start on brands that I'm picking up. They'll know this brand for about a month or so before I release it. These 3 vintage kids clothing sets sold for $143 plus shipping on eBay in less than 24 hours. Silver, I don't pick up really at all anymore. The brand Silver. These are capris. These are probably one of the first things I picked up, and I took an offer on eBay for 15 bucks. So these are gonna get shipped out to you. If you've had something for a while, don't be afraid to just take a lower price for it to get it moving, and you can invest that money in other things that are gonna move quicker. Reselling is pretty much learning about what's selling right now. Keep that in mind, you guys. Not everything sells quickly though. You do want to have inventory in your store so you have daily sales. That's kind of how we look at our reselling business. That's it, you guys. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.